Here comes Ime. Where's all the energy of the people who are like, oh, Ime will never get another job in the NBA. Oh, he'll never do this. They'll never do that. Listen, man. Ime about to go to New York, baby. Ime's about to go to Brooklyn. Listen, right now, those guys want that guy. I kept telling you. I told you. I told you, and I told you, and I told you. Listen, I'm a basketballologist. Don't doubt the things I say. Don't come out here and doubt the things I said. I said it. This is the analogy I gave you. How many of you can fly a 747 airplane? Do you care if you're in a 747 and the guy who's the pilot of 747, he was messing with his co-worker's wife? Do you care? Do you care anything about that? Or do you care that he has the skill set to land the plane? Can't see. The skill set to land the plane is what you're interested in. And Ime Udoka can land a plane for Brooklyn Nets into a finals round. He's that type of coach. Do you think people care that this guy was messing around on his little girlfriend? They don't care about that. They're not interested in that. They're interested in, can this dude handle a franchise of superstars and take them to a championship level? And that's why Woj and all these dudes are saying that within 24 hours, we might hear Ime Udoka is now a Brooklyn Net. They're not interested in Vaughn coaching. If Vaughn was going to be the coach, the interim coach that they got right now, they would have fired Steve in the summertime. Okay? Those dudes don't want Vaughn to coach them. They're like, yo, bring Ime. And this is the thing that's happening now in the NBA, and a lot of you guys don't want to talk about the way that it needs to be talked about. These black players want to be coached by black men. That's what's happening right now. They want, because when you see guys like Kyrie, Chris Paul, even LeBron and KD, these guys have a greater conversation than is what just is happening in basketball. They talk about things, they live things, they experience things that are bigger than just a game of basketball. And they want a black man to coach them who identifies with the same world views, the same issues, the same street, the same mentality that they come from. Steve Nash is a friend of mine. And I'm telling you right now, as a Canadian guy, as a guy that was always cool, we always said Steve was cool. These dudes are different. Steve and them never meshed personally. It's not, I'm telling you right now, it's not Steve's fault. Kevin Durant's a weirdo. I'll tell you straight up. That guy's a weird dude. I don't think I could be that dude's friend. I think he's a little bit strange. I think he's a little bit awkward. You're talking about Kyrie. Kyrie's not the problem. KD's the problem. KD's a weird dude, bro. KD's a sensitive, weird dude. Who goes and creates, as a multi-million-dollar basketball player, a fake account to talk about himself? Who goes and does that? Kevin Durant does. The guy's a strange duck. And he's a different, difficult, sensitive guy to get along with. He was screaming for Steve Nash to be fired over the summer. Tell me what Steve Nash is doing to him in the summertime that he's screaming to get the fire Steve. Why? What is it that he didn't like? What is he didn't want to hear? Because he's used to being coddled. He's used to individuals smoothing him, saying, you're the best player in the world. No, he can't handle it. And now with Kyrie, they're trying to cancel Kyrie because Kyrie's got something to say about Jewish people. So they want to cancel Kyrie. And now Steve has to manage that, has to deal with that. Kyrie has a lot to say about white people, a lot to say. I'm sure he's got some kind of anti-plantation mentality when it comes to basketball, when it comes to being coached by Steve. And I'm telling you, they want an African. They want a guy named Ime Udoka, who represents all the things that's in these young cats' head, that they want to see that black patriarchy stand up and lead them. These guys don't want to be led by Popoviches and these old guard of NBA coaches. It's not going to happen. And that's why you're seeing so many new black coaches in the NBA. And that's why Ime is going to be sitting down on a Brooklyn bench before you can say, Mama, give me some more catfish. I'm telling you, it's about to happen. And many of you sat there talking about, oh, he'll never coach again. Oh, he did such a despicable thing. What are you guys talking about? You don't even know the league. You don't understand the stuff that happens in the back. Stuff that's happening in the back. That you don't get what's happening in the back. Nobody cares who this guy is sleeping with after he gets off a basketball court. Nobody cares. What they care about in the NBA, can you manage NBA black players? Can you manage these superstar prima donnas? Can you manage these eccentric, multi-billion-dollar freaks of nature that we have invested hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars just to win a brass trophy? Can you manage these guys? You can? Please come here and do it. Period. And then the second part of it is, do they want you to manage them? This is one of the biggest things that I think regular folk on the street don't understand about the current NBA is that it's a players' league. If the players don't like you, you're gone. And you know what? This is not even modern. Magic Johnson wanted his coach gone. They got rid of Magic's coach in Magic's rookie year. The NBA is about keeping the basketball players happy. It's not about keeping coaches happy. It's not. They tell these owners, are you ready to pay the amount of money for a championship team? You're going to pay the luxury tax. You're going to pay the extra money. You're going to do the extras. Listen, what was happening when LeBron James was back in Cleveland? These guys were getting helicopter rides. They were getting inside tracks for real estate, stuff that people don't even understand. These things are bigger than basketball, and these players right now are not interested in being led by what they consider to be a colonialism type mindset with the identity of individuals who are coaching them. Nothing is wrong with Steve Nash. Steve Nash is a South African. Steve Nash is a brother from another mother to us here in Canada. He's our boy, but not to these dudes in Brooklyn. Not to these dudes in Brooklyn. Not to Kevin Durant. Not to Kyrie Irving. And Ime is coming, just like I said, bro. Just like I said. And you think, listen, black people in America are interesting, bro. And I'm gonna bring this up. I'm gonna bring these two things up. First of all, I'm gonna bring up Kanye West. I don't know how black people can defend Kanye West after Kanye West was MAGA hat wearing Kanye West, after Kanye West said that slavery was a choice, after Kanye West was wearing a White Lives Matter t-shirt. Now all of a sudden, because Kanye West, big mouth, got him in trouble with Jewish people, and those people that are putting millions of dollars in his pocket, now black people are running and say, oh, they're persecuting the free speech of a black man. Kanye can't be black again for me, but that's what y'all do. That's what y'all do in America. We don't do it up here. I call Kanye out in his BS because it's BS. A lot of stuff coming out of that dude's mouth is BS, and I don't weep for billionaires, period. I don't care how much money he's losing. He's a billionaire. If Kanye loses 90% of his wealth, he's still way richer than most of us. Way richer. Okay? What's 90% of a billion? 900 million. What's left? He's got a heck of a lot more money than me, buddy. If Kanye West left with $100 million, he's doing well. So the foolishness that comes out of that guy's mouth, I don't weep for him. I don't weep for what's happening from him. And therefore, I'm not going to change my tune when it seems like Kanye's being unreasonably treated. Yeah, he's being unreasonably treated for the things that he said. Yeah, he shouldn't be canceled for saying this thing that he said, because people say worse stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm not running to his defense because he didn't run to ours. And these are the kind of mindsets that people have when they think about these guys coaching in the NBA. These guys are identifying with completely different things. Completely different things. I saw somebody say something. Tap to chat. Let me see what it's saying here. Educate us. Hey, how you doing, Yvonne? How you doing, Yvonne? Good to see you. Maybe find favor with the players. Listen, that's what's going to happen. Is that what's going to happen is that Ime already has favor with those players. They believe that he can come in there and do magic. The truth of the matter is, Kyrie and Kevin Durant as a tandem are absolutely uncoachable. This is what you're going to realize. These two guys are a cancer, period. Nobody's going to be able to deal with Kyrie and KD. That's not going to happen. The prima donna level of those two men is not something that anybody can get in there and actually affect, because it's no consequences. You got to basically come in there, do what they want, do everything they want, and then be successful. And that's the only thing that's going to keep those guys and appease those guys. And it's probably not even enough. It's probably not even enough. So too much isolation, one-on-one. Bro, you got Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. What are you going to run? A flex? What are you going to run? Some kind of pass the ball, Tex Winter triangle offense? What are you going to run with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving? You're going to run isolations. And what's going to happen in this NBA? You're going to get exposed because this NBA has zones. And so therefore, it's eliminated the power of the one-on-one player. And yeah, so okay, so now you got too much isolation one-on-one. You're trying to leave guys on an island. You don't have to, because you could just run two guys at a guy where you couldn't do that in the old NBA, but now you can. And so now you got to kick the ball to other people, and what happens? The Brooklyn Nets are not deep enough to even be competitive. Even when Kyrie goes off for 30 and Kevin Durant goes off for 30, what happens? Again, for you guys who follow me, I give you the formula. The formula for wins in the NBA is 5 guys in double figures. That's the formula. To win a game offensively, you need 5 guys in double figures. And I told you, the first team to 105 wins. That's what I told you. You get those 2 things, you win. Right? And the other part about the Brooklyn Nets, they can't play defense enough. Kyrie can't cover nobody. Kyrie can't cover nobody. You guys didn't know that? Kyrie Irving can't cover nobody. Who can he cover? He can't be covered, but he can't cover nobody. He can't help you on defense. Yeah, Kevin Durant has become a pretty decent defender. But as a team, the Brooklyn Nets are ill-equipped to defend some of the greater teams in the NBA. Very ill-equipped. So, I'm here to let you know, the Brooklyn Nets have a lot more problems than just replacing Steve Nash, right? Steve Nash, come on here to Toronto. I said this in another broadcast. Actually, I didn't upload that one yet. Come here to Toronto, brother. We got a place for you. Steve, I said this in another broadcast. I didn't upload yet. Steve should have been in Dallas or now in Phoenix, because he would have been appreciated there. He's not going to be appreciated in Brooklyn. He's not going to be appreciated in Brooklyn. Should he have gotten that job? Absolutely. Marks gave him a shot. A 2-time MVP point guard. Of course you get that guy that job. Of course you do. But what did they take for granted? And plus, remember, Kevin Durant and Kyrie endorsed him. They wanted him. Remember that too. They didn't just hire Steve. Those 2 guys wanted him. Now all of a sudden they want him gone? That's what I'm saying. In two seasons, in 7 games, they got rid of this dude in 7 games. They're 2-5. 2-5 is not the coach. The Lakers situation is not the coach. Okay? That's not the coach. 2-5 when you got 2 Hall of Famer superstars, it's not the coach. That's you. That's you. And yeah, you know what? If anybody comes in there, let me address what you said one last time. If anybody comes in there and tries to run an offense that doesn't have Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving shooting at least 20 times a game each, they're gonna be on the next train to Georgia. they better not even, don't buy a house. They better get an Airbnb, because they won't last very long. That will be hell in Brooklyn, brother. So Ime, I don't know what he's gonna come in there and do if he's in there, but I think he will be. I think you're gonna see Ime Udoka by the weekend in sitting on the bench in Brooklyn. Okay, I think that's gonna happen. So you guys tell me what you think. You guys tell me what you think, because I think it's gonna happen. Hold on a second. My daughter played a game today. I didn't upload that one either. Whew. They played against another team. Both teams were undefeated. We got whooped today. We got beat bad. So we're sizing up. We're the number 2. We're number 2 seed for the playoffs. I think we're gonna have to deal with it. All right? Love y'all. Hey, gotta work on that game, kid. We're working on that game all weekend. That's what we're gonna do. Jump shots, post moves, everything. She just turned 16. You know, she just turned 16, so she out here. She out here doing her thing. But all right. But your dad don't get kisses no more. You turned 16, you can't get no kiss, eh? No kiss for me.
Praise is mad at Daddy because she gave her a whole 15-minute quiz about basketball.
Hey, I'm a basketballologist. Love you.
I prefer basketball.
If our school strikes, it's just basketball every day. Eh? Just like you know, you're in basketball camp every day if we go on a strike. Listen,
Daddy, if something happens, please have my football game today.
if the school strikes, you won't be playing football, remember?
Huh?
If your school goes on strike, you won't be playing football.
What's that?
Listen, I'm interested in figuring out who else these guys might have coaching though. Like, let's say Ime isn't the guy, all right? Who are they going to pull out of the bag? They're talking about, I'm trying to start. You know, I know you guys don't like it. Some of you don't like it when I keep this thing about race, but I'm telling you, these two characters, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, want to be coached by a black coach. I'm telling you right away. I'm telling you that right now. Quinn Snyder is another name they threw out there. And I'm telling you, they're not going to let Quinn Snyder, with his looking like he's an alcoholic self. Quinn Snyder, I've never seen a good-looking guy age so badly. Quinn Snyder was a good-looking young guy. This little kid thinks she's going to the park. Hey, Praise. Tell her she's not allowed to go to the park because nobody's home. Get her back. Yeah, so Quinn Snyder better not think that he's able to come. I heard his name thrown out there today. I was like, that's not a thing. That is not a thing. Man, raising daughters is not the easiest thing in the world, bro. I tell you right now. I'm a single dad. All right? My mama's a single mama. Everybody want to be single? I'm single. I'm a single dad. Put it that way. Don't mean I'm available. I'm just saying I'm unmarried. I'm unmarried father. I got a boo, but at the same time, hey.
I'm allowed to stay at the park for half an hour.
Go to home.
I'm allowed to stay at the park for half an hour.
No, go to the house. Go to the house. These kids think this new generation, boy. When I was young, I couldn't talk twice. I'd have to hustle my butt to the house. Ain't it crazy? Ain't nobody home. Nobody's home. This is the thing. Nobody's home, and these kids think that they can go run around. Listen. Look at it running inside with the temper. Ain't gonna happen on my watch. No. Hey, make sure your butt is inside. No, you're staying inside. Nobody's home. You're home. I gotta go back downtown. Nobody's gonna be in this area. You're staying inside. Period. Dot. These kids think, what do you think this is? So I dropped them home. I don't live here. I'm living another side of town. Their mama's at yoga in another side of town. This little one wants to go outside half hour. No, stay the heck in the house. I bought a big old $5 million house to put your behind inside the house. Go do something in the house. Hey, that's all I got to say. Yo, you ain't in the projects. They living in the suburbs. In my house. So I bought you the house. Go live in the house. Stay in the house. I got to go back downtown to my little apartment because that's what divorce does. Not a great institution for brothers. So, going back now to my rant. Live. And everything. Hey, my live. I should do more of these lives, baby. These lives are out of control. That would be cool. That would be cool yeah, man. You mean the Nets? Happy birthday. Oh, yeah. My daughter's birthday. Thanks, bro. Yeah, she's inside. She going inside. And she going inside. Her birthday was on Halloween. And that was a 16-year-old who just played ball. She's a big girl. I'm trying to teach us. The thing about daughters, right? She's a daughter, but she's a baller. And so there's a certain level of, you can't give them too much. You can't be like I'm screaming, but I got to hold back my scream because, girls will cry or something. Come on, you got to fight out there. Rip the ball out that girl's hair. She played with a whole new set of nails, playing ball with a whole new set, hair done, hair in her face, out there looking like the black Negro Rapunzel, right? While she's in there fighting for her life under the basket against a very good team of girls. You know what I love? Just to get off topic real quick, I love to see big girls play basketball, because one of the greatest things, and for those who are raising daughters who don't have Coca bottle shaped bodies, when you see them big girls out there, they got big, they're husky. They're playing. There's two girls out there, easily 6'3", 240 pounds, easy. But those shorties could play, hooping, using all their size. She was laughing. She's like, "Yeah, that girl's out there like Shaq." I go, "That's right." And Shaq was giving you the business for a second. So I love it. I love it when I see girls, and then they're still feminine. They're still beautiful young ladies, right? But they're built different. And my daughter's a big girl too. She's about 6 feet tall, right? She's still slender though, but you know, she's in the gym every day. She's tough. I'm like, okay, you out there with your species now. Get out there and fight. Straight up. But yeah, seeing Ime go to Brooklyn, that would be such a redemption story. Such a redemption story. How quickly the narrative can change and this guy becomes the savior of Brooklyn. Isn't it crazy? Isn't it crazy that this guy can become the savior of Brooklyn overnight? Overnight, he can become the savior of Brooklyn. Imagine he goes to Brooklyn and Brooklyn goes off and wins 5 games straight. Let me tell you something, buddy. Let me tell you something. All Nia Long would be like, "Baby, can I come back? Baby, come back. You can blame it all on me. I was wrong, and I just can't live without you." Come on. He win 5. Just 5 games. He win 5 games when he come in there. The whole narrative's going to change about Ime Udoka. These guys are saying, I don't see him ever coaching in the NBA again. He's done. He's finished. He shouldn't have done what he did. It's horrible. Shut up. Shut up and shut up. And all these guys are running around screaming this guy's name. Ime Udoka. Ime Udoka might be in there. Ime Udoka. Everybody's screaming Ime Udoka. Even me. And I don't even know if Ime Udoka is going to get the job. But it'd be a hell of a thing. Now, this is my reasoning why I think Ime Udoka will not get the job. I think Kyrie, there's so much scandal with Kyrie. And now you bring in Ime scandal that's stale, but it's still there. And then, number 3, if Ime isn't able to turn that group of guys around, which I think it's literally a miracle to turn around those 2 very toxic men. Okay? To make those guys leaders, because neither of them are leaders. Kyrie's not a leader. Kevin Durant is not a leader. Those guys are very selfish. What's the word I would like to use for those 2 individuals? Neophytes. Individuals who essentially are very strong narcissistic personalities, although I hate to use that term. I hate it. It's a fake term, but let's use it for the sake of what I'm trying to talk about. Individuals who are really focused on themselves, not capable of inspiring others to play better, not necessarily going to make others better, not interested in having a wholesome connection with their teammates. None of that, none of the above is there with those guys. And then you throw Ben Simmons in there. That's a special ed classroom. Oh, you got a bunch of high needs kids with no IEPs. That's independent education plans for those who are not educated. Individuals that you basically got no manual on how to deal with their ups and downs every day. You have no idea what can happen. These guys will wake up and just in the middle of the night just tweet something stupid on Twitter over a game, over a coaching decision. You never know. You never know. LeBron James talking to himself. He's another one. Security watch. Just bizarre, all of this. I know, right? Hey, come on, I want to see what this is saying. That would be cool. Yeah, security watch. Yeah, all this is going to be crazy, bro. This is crazy. Like when you think of just what, if this is what you mean, MSJ, that a few months ago, not even like a couple of months ago, Ime Udoka was like he was enemy number 1, bro. Like this was like, it was over for him. It was like, what's going on? oh my gosh, like what's happening? And then thank God the season started and the Lakers tanked. Okay. And then the Lakers became the biggest problem and then Russell Westbrook became the biggest news story, right? And then not Kyrie Irving, but basically, if possible, Kanye West bled into the conversations of where everybody's focusing on him, and then Kyrie. Like, there's so much going on in the NBA on a daily basis. Like, and I might have missed stuff that now we literally a few weeks later, of Ime Udoka essentially throwing his career off of a cliff, off of us crucifying Andrews for bringing up everything negative about black men with Ime Udoka. Now Ime Udoka is getting the Brooklyn job. This is what I want to see. This is what I want to know. This is what I want to hear. And I haven't done it yet. What is Malika Andrews thinking and feeling about Ime Udoka getting that level of retribution and placing him in that Brooklyn job? I want to hear what negative things that woman has to say. Do you think Malika Andrews thinks that Ime Udoka should get another chance this quickly and be placed in that position? Do you think that she's going to be happy, or her cohorts, or all these women that have been out here trying to roast Ime Udoka and roast black men in positions of authority and power and saying, yeah, look what happens, look what they do to us, la 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 la, they leave us, they cheat on us, blah blah blah, they cheated on with the Becky and all kind of talk, and now that guy gets the job in Brooklyn? No one wants, but who wants him to coach? Kyrie? I think if he's in the conversation, Kyrie and Durant have to endorse it. Ime can help. The Nets have more the team defense mindset, and just like how Brown and Tim and Tatum, yeah. Like I think it's basically built like Jaylen Brown and Tatum right now, but they don't have a smart. They don't have that third player that's going to be the tough guy that's going to keep everybody. They don't have that guy. Did he get the job with Brooklyn? No, he didn't get it yet, but everybody's talking about it. Everybody's saying that he might be in a Brooklyn Nets sweater in 24 hours. Because honestly, you can't have Vaughn go on a 10-game coaching spree. It can't happen. They can't have Vaughn sitting around there coaching for 10 games while they figure this out. And guess who's on the chopping block next if he does? Sean Marks. The owners are going to come down and say, bro, you put Steve here, right? And Steve is like, I want to thank Sean Marks for hiring me. They're like, yeah, Sean Marks. Yeah, you hired this guy, right? Yeah, bro, you're next. If I'm the ownership in the Brooklyn Nets, I'm like, bro, you're the problem. Oh, you hired him, eh? You're the problem. Sean Marks cannot sit on his hands and not put somebody in charge of that ship right away. Let's be real. Let's be real. The Brooklyn Nets are the Lakers of the East when it comes to iconic individuals who are on that team. Kevin Durant, LeBron James, right? Russell Westbrook, Kyrie Irving, AD, nobody else. So on this side of the world, on the eastern side of the NBA, you cannot afford to have a ship like the Brooklyn Nets not being captained by a really good captain. You can't put some knucklehead for 10 games in charge of this team. I'll tell you another reason why. You will get lambasted in sports media because guys like guys like Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless have hung their careers, their hats, their narrative on Kevin Durant. And if the Nets are not successful, the next person to blame will not be the interim head coach. The next person to blame will be the frickin' GM. When you get the job, I will be looking for the Nets, blah, blah, blah. Wait. Jeez, I wish these this is so weird that the screen doesn't stay up for me. I don't know. Maybe y'all have understanding of that. Live chat. I want to see the live chat. Yeah, okay, there it is. Crazy news, right? When you get the job, I will be looking for the next Brooklyn Nets versus Boston. Yep, that would be great. That's right. The Brooklyn Nets, Brooklyn versus Boston will be a hell of a reunion. I wonder if they'll let Ime in the arena. Oh, that would be a hell of a reunion. That would be great for sports. Sports media are going to make millions just off of that news. Just off of that news. Sean Marks, right? Isn't Sean Marks? Isn't Sean Marks the GM of the Brooklyn Nets? I believe that's who he is. I believe that's his name, right? If I'm incorrect, correct me. I believe that's him. Am I wrong? Am I saying his name wrong? Maybe I do that all the time. So, but I think it's Sean Marks. But he's the guy who hired Steve. Steve thanked him today. He hailed up Brooklyn, and took his leave. He's got his money. He's out. And come on to Toronto, Steve. Come sit down on the bench, Toronto. Nick Nurse, put that guy to work. Make him the head assistant here. And then when you want to retire, we got Steve. And that's connected, because I'm telling you, he's going to get that job. If Nick Nurse ever leaves Toronto before he's any kind of, that job's going to Steve Nash. I'll tell you that right now. That's just off the top. I'm going to let you know. Steve Nash is the next coach of the Toronto Raptors if Nick Nurse retires. And we don't want Nick to retire because I think Nick Nurse is a better coach than Steve Nash. We don't want Steve Nash. Yeah, we don't. We don't want him. But at the same time, he's a son of Canada, and I'm never going to throw my boy under the bus. Never. Not for Kyrie and Durant. We have no idea. Listen to me. We have no idea of Steve's true capacity to coach, considering the type of constraints he was coaching under. He's never had a fully healthy team. He's got players in rebellion, players not wanting to play, players not wanting to get vaccinated so they can't play, players wanting to get him fired, all this kind of stuff that he's never really been given a chance to really show what he can do. And I'm not going to write Steve Nash off because he's my buddy and he's a two-time MVP point guard. Now, they might have thought Kyrie and Durant thought he was they thought he was Steve Kerr, but Steve Kerr was baptized by fire, where he was baptized by Michael Jordan punching him in the doggone face. You see, I don't want Steve. Leo Rounds? Are you joking? I would never. I would abort mission if Leo Rounds ever became the coach of the Raptors. Costa Rica, well, go on. Can be an assistant, yeah, and learn from Nick. Leo Rounds. We don't even say that guy's name. We don't even say Leo Rounds can't even coach the national team. Forget about an NBA team. No way, Jose. Leo Rounds should be coaching high school basketball. He should never touch anything higher than that, and it should be probably high school girls. So no. Let's not put Leo Rounds in that type of position. Nick Nurse is doing a great job. He's probably the best coach we've had since the great Butch Carter. Although I will never write off the great Dwayne Casey. The team that Nick Nurse basically inherited was the great Dwayne Casey's team, and Dwayne Casey deserves a ring because he taught Nick Nurse everything he knows and gave him a finished team with a Kawhi Leonard. Anyway, this is another point from the whole Ime thing. If Ime comes in here and fails, if he comes into Brooklyn and fails, Sean Marks is dead. Brooklyn will look so bad. They'll say, why would you bring in a guy his reputation is tainted, bring him into a situation like this? You put a lot of pressure on yourself. That's what's happening right now in the minds of some of these guys in the upper offices of Brooklyn. They're saying, yo, if we bring this guy in, and this is what I would do if I was the Brooklyn Nets. I would hire a PR team tonight. A PR firm tonight. I'd throw some money at these guys and say, listen, we need to have a 48-hour polling, understanding. We need to have what are they called? I think they're called truth. Engineers do it. I just learned it. They basically say, if this circumstance and this circumstance happened, what would be the end result? What are the possible results? What are the possible scenarios? Engineers do these kind of things. I think they're called probability charts or something. But they need a PR term, a firm to do this. What happens if you put this guy in place and all hell hits the fan? What happens? What happens if you put him in place and more scandals come up? What happens if you put him in place and more allegations come up? Even in Boston, what happens? What happens if you put him in place and more people in Boston come out and it becomes a criminal investigation? Like, you've got a lot to think about by hiring Ime, right? But wins, listen, love, the Bible says, what does it do? It cancels a multitude of sins. Wins does too. So do wins. And if Ime comes here and wins, it's all about winning. It's all about winning. Can I give you an example of where that happened? I don't know if you guys remember, some of you guys are big Kobe fans. When they said Kobe raped that girl, Kobe had his best season. That's when he gave the Raptors 81 points. He came in and he's played the best basketball of his life. Like he was playing for his freedom. It's like, boy, you better go out here and play the best basketball of your life. And if you don't give me 81 points, you're going to jail. Like, he played like that. And I always say that to say this. And we know what happened. The charges were overturned. They said that, they did semen samples and saw that the semen samples that the young lady produced, there was multiple men, not just Kobe, mixed in there, and all of that was thrown out the window overnight. Gone. So how could he have raped you if you have other men's semen? And she's like, it's my boyfriend. I had sex with my boyfriend the night after, or some nonsense. I don't know. But it was a terrible scenario for Kobe. It was a terrible scenario for the NBA. But what turned it all around? 81 points. Wins. If Ime Udoka wants to come out here, put his best foot forward, not sleep with the president's wife, I got to throw that one in there. But if he wants to come in here and put his best foot forward, he potentially could turn around his career. And you know what he will do too? Guard from Costa Rica just had a look. Brooklyn Nets. Oh shoot, I didn't see it. Live chat. Brooklyn Nets will be playing Boston. Oh, December the 4th. Mark Jackson. Everybody always talks about Mark Jackson. Listen, Mark Jackson doesn't want to coach anymore. I'll tell you guys this right now. And he's a little bit out of touch with these current players. My understanding too is that Mark Jackson, one of the reasons that he had so much trouble in Golden State was because of his faith. And, he's a pastor. I believe he's still a pastor. He had these guys doing Bible classes and, Bible studies. And then you got to remember too that the owners of Golden State are homosexuals. I believe it's a homosexual couple at the time, something like that. So some nonsense like that with the GM and the owners, something like that. And it's in San Francisco. So or Oakland or something, I don't know, something like that. It's close to San Francisco. So the scenario there for him was that his faith essentially blackballed him from coaching in the NBA. This is what I understand. I understand that Mark Jackson is too Christian for the NBA. So I don't see Brooklyn being a place that would work for Mark Jackson. But he's New York. If there's anybody that's New York, if there's anybody that actually could sit down in that seat and be credible, it's Pastor Jackson. Pastor Mark Jackson, whose name has always, every time there's a job opening, you say, what about Mark Jackson? How come Mark Jackson don't want to? Because Mark Jackson is running prayer meeting right after shoot around. Okay? He's running prayer, fasting, and shooting drills, like right away. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't have an issue with that, but those boys in Brooklyn might have an issue with Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson, his faith apparently is what got him ousted, because the guy was devout. Like he was literally coaching in California and then flying to New York, I believe, where his church was, and pastoring his church every Sunday, and then flying back. So his ministry was getting involved with his coaching duties. It was very interesting. What I heard. This is what I understand. Some of y'all might not know. Some of y'all might know more. Some of y'all might Google. Some of y'all might YouTube and tell me what you think. But Mark Jackson, I would believe, his name is just thrown around so much. What about Mark Jackson? And I've been saying it for years, about 20 years. Like I feel like I've been saying it forever since Steve Kerr got that job. What about Mark Jackson? And Mark Jackson had a great relationship with Steph Curry. And Mark Jackson is the quintessential player's coach. He's a hype man. He was Reggie Miller's hype man, right? He used to get Reggie up for every game, right? Great story. Fairleigh Dickinson University. We played against St. John's every year, and our point guard, our little point guard at the time, his number one goal was to steal the ball from Mark Jackson. Chase, his name was. And so Chase had a game where he's like, I'm gonna steal the ball from Mark Jackson, because Mark Jackson's a guy like no turnovers, 10 assists, 0 turnovers. Like he wasn't turning the ball over. Big guard, 6'4", right? Long arms, had this kind of semi-Magic Johnson kind of style to his game. Come down, little just shifty kind of game. And so Chase stole the ball, straight up stole the ball from Mark Jackson and took off on the fast break, 2 steps, tweet, foul. Oh my gosh, like literally it would have turned Chase from a potential NBA player to now Chase just went to work for a local telephone company after he finished. But it did that much. Like he literally would have made his entire career just stealing that ball from Mark Jackson. Little story. And he, to this day, he's like, that wasn't a foul. I stole that ball. Malika Andrews is starting to run her mouth. I told you on the potential of hiring. Ime's hiring. Yep, I told you. She's not gonna have it. She's not gonna have it. She's gonna be the number one person to say, hey, is this a good choice? I don't think Brooklyn should take. I think at this season and this time, it's not a good idea. I think that Brooklyn will be putting a lot of pressure on them. Trust me, bro. She's not gonna let Ime get that job. If she had anything to do with it, he would never work again. But bun she. All right? I can't wait to hear her say something. So, it's going to be interesting. Yeah, we've been trying to cancel her, Mooney. Listen, bro, read down. I've got multiple videos dealing with cancel Malika Andrews. Multiple videos I've made about canceling Malika Andrews. I was one of the first people to talk about her and saying this chick needs to be stopped. Absolutely. Cancel her behind. I've been saying it for a long time. I didn't want to get on her at first, and then I had to let her have it. Like she's too much. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah. She needs to be canceled. Share those videos. She needs to be canceled. But you know what? ESPN knows why they put her there. They have the voice that they want with the face that they want. They have the narrative that they want with the ethnicity that they want. And they put her there for that reason. And we're not dumb. We all know. I think Malika's a puppet. And it's not just the puppet that needs to be canceled, but the puppeteers. Right? So I don't know if that's going to happen before. I just need to see Ime sitting there. If Ime sits in that seat, I'm telling you, it'll be a good day to see. I need him to get that win. I need black men in general to get that win. And I need it to be something that I can just sit there and just gloat about like it's me. Right? All right, guys, it's getting dark, and I'm getting off this thing right now. I don't want you guys to be looking at me in the dark because I basically, it's going to be dark in a few minutes. So keep your eyes open. I'll be back for another podcast in the morning. And share, like, subscribe. Ime, are we going to see you in a Brooklyn Nets sweater, bro? Let's see what happens. Del K. Burton, baby. You know what it is. It's the real speed.